Hello everyone, my name is Tristan Folks, and today I'm going to be sharing my NASCAR thoughts after the Easter break. This weekend we are heading to Talladega for the Jack Links 500. I will actually be at that race, so I will be doing a race vlog, and in that vlog we will have objectives to complete before the race starts, so hopefully that video is out by Tuesday, but I'm looking forward to getting out there for the first time and having a blast, and then uploading that video so y'all can see what it's like, and we'll see if we can complete these cool objectives that I've created. The races we're going to discuss is from Homestead-Miami to Bristol. So first off, we're going to talk about our race winners first. We saw Kyle Larson just rip that wall at Homestead-Miami. He ended up winning. We saw Ryan Blaney blow another engine, which is unfortunate. It hurt my fantasy chances a lot. And then at Martinsville, we saw Denny Hamlin get the victory lane at his home track in the Progressive colors. And then he ended up winning at Darlington as well, with a little bit of luck on his side. I had Hamlin winning that race over Byron. And then we saw Kyle Larson absolutely dominate Bristol like he did in the playoff race. So very similar race winners, and where they've even finished, minus Larson having an awful Darlington. Going into the playoff grid, it currently looks like this. You have William Byron, Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Josh Berry being the 5 race winners. And then we're going to look at stage winners, with those being Ryan Blaney, Joey Logano, Bubba Wallace, Ryan Preece. And then once you go into the point standings for the rest, you have drivers like Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick, Alex Bowman, Ross Chastain, Chris Buescher, Chase Briscoe, and Kyle Busch. So as of now, if you saw my preseason predictions, 13 of my 16 guys are currently in, and my ones out right now is Todd Gilliland, Ty Gibbs, and Shane Van Gisbergen. It's looking like we'll have a really good chance of getting 15 out of 16 right now still. We're going to talk about the races, what I thought about them. When I was watching the Homestead race, I was in LA at the time, but overall, Homestead-Miami is an amazing racetrack. It brought a great race once again, which we saw Kyle Larson win, which is pretty fair. Homestead has every single line possible. It looks like it'll be a championship race in 2026, so I'm hyped for that. At Martinsville, a lot of people didn't like the race. I said it was decent. Dirty airs really hurt this short track racing, honestly. But it wasn't that bad, and the point I like to make is Joey Logano went from, I believe, 27th to 8th on 4 fresh tires, so maybe we could have used a little more strategy in that race, but that was something that eyed to me. But I predicted the top 5 very easily, in my opinion. It was just very easy to predict how this race was going to go. At Darlington, it was absolutely getting dominated by William Byron, and some cautions definitely threw a wrench into how drivers were in the order, or where it threw some drivers off. But overall, I ended up getting that race winner correct. Thankfully, the cautions. Bristol, honestly, was the worst race that we've seen. You just can't really pass. It's just all dirty air at this track. You're carrying so much corner speed. And I will give a shout out to Kyle Larson dominating that race, but it seems it was just all him. Alex Bowman ended up blowing an engine, so that hurt my chances in fantasy, unfortunately. We're seeing a trend here. Denny Hamlin tried to give him a run for his money, but just dirty air. Once you're in dirty air, it's just hard to come back from. The only driver we maybe saw make some passes was Ryan Blaney, notably. They took it easy at first, but then tire wear just didn't exist. And there needs to be a fix, or something needs to get fixed by the time we get to Bristol for the playoff race, because I would like to see this become harder, because that looked pretty easy for some drivers. I'm also going to talk about Rockingham, which happened on the Cup Series off weekend. Very amazing time to see Rockingham back on the schedule. I really enjoy the races, but I also need to talk about Catherine Legge. I just want to talk about how NASCAR enabled her to race at Phoenix, which she probably shouldn't have. No offense. It's not even an offense to the driver or the person. It's just, you just bring someone up randomly to the Cup Series. So now that you've done that, this has now enabled her to be at bigger tracks. Rockingham is one of them. And I'm not saying she directly caused this wreck, but she was way slow off the pace. And I would say she was also pinching lead lap cars down, and eventually one went right into her, and the rest was history, unfortunately. And it gave Casey Kane a bad weekend, which was hoping to be a good one for him. So I feel we need to find ways to make a process where they don't get to jump up. I understand Phoenix was a mile track, but a straight jump to the Cup Series was crazy, especially as Daniel Suarez said, Phoenix is a fast racetrack. So fortunately, she's been enabled to now be in NASCAR ovals, which could be an issue. We'll see. We'll just have to see. We're going to talk about some drivers here. The first one I'm going to talk about is Kyle Larson. He's looking good. He won a couple races, but we're also seeing him make big mistakes. Darlington, he was absolutely awful at that race. So he was able to turn around at Bristol, but then just now in Indy 500 testing, he ended up brushing the wall and ended up crashing the car. So not looking good going to Talladega. I understand 2 different series, but we'll see how he does at Talladega after wrecking in the Indy car. But overall, he's looking really good, and I expect to see him in the championship 4. The next driver I'm going to bring up, it is Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin looks like the best driver right now in the past month. Like I said, he won back-to-back races, and then he finished, I believe, 2nd at Bristol. Everything's just going really good. I question the crew chief combo, but it's working great. They're finding ways to win, find speed. So shout out to Denny and that team. They're doing really good. I meant to talk about this driver in a previous video, but it works even better that I get to talk about him now. And that driver is Ryan Preece. Notably at Phoenix, which was in my first video I mentioned, they had a strategy, him and his crew chief, and they sound like they were really getting along on the radio together, and they're just finding ways to get points. And then we get in these next slew of races, they're finding ways to finish up front. They looked really good at Darlington, but cautions unfortunately got in the way. And they're just finding ways to score points, play strategy. I'm a really big fan of Ryan Preece and his crew chief right now. It just seems like a really good combo. And they're in a playoff spot right now. So I think RFK did an amazing job putting this 60 team together. The next driver I want to highlight is AJ Allmendinger. I would say he's having his best Cup season ever right now. Colleague Racing has also been bringing speed to the racetrack more often, so it looks like they're making a big step in their team, and we're seeing Allmendinger run up front. He did really good at Homestead. They're just bringing it, and we'll see what they can bring at Talladega. You don't know what to expect, but maybe they can salvage some points, and they're the last car that is not in the playoff spot right now, but they're knocking at the door currently behind Kyle Busch, and this could be a weekend, but we'll just have to see what happens. Also in the last video, I talked about this driver who is absolutely struggling, and they just made a change during this duration, and that driver is Ty Gibbs. He has a new car chief, and whatever they're doing, they're looking really good. I wish I put him in my lineup at Bristol, but he started showing some speed out there. Unfortunately, he wrecked at Martinsville, but it looks like he gained some points back. Overall, they're starting to get it together. They're 20th in the point standings right now, so it's just a matter of, can you keep the momentum up? They're doing pretty good. I say he's been doing a little better than Chase Briscoe right now. So if Ty Gibbs can just show his inner self that he did last year, I'm pretty sure he'll find his way into the top 16, because in the last video I was very concerned, but right now I'm feeling pretty good about Ty Gibbs. The next driver I am going to talk about, which you probably are not expecting, but I'm going to bring up Justin Haley for the reason of there's a lot of changes going around that team. The crew chief is gone, the car chief is gone, the pit crew is gone. It's just been a complete overhaul of that 7 team since Rodney Childers just left Spire Motorsports. So hopefully he can hang in there. I feel pretty bad for him because they're actually doing decently well in the point standings after having a rough start of the season. So it's really unfortunate, but hopefully Justin Haley can hang in there. He's looking really good, and he had a really good showing at Bristol. And to my last driver, and this one is of massive concern. While RFK Racing looks good, Brad Keselowski, on the other hand, I'm starting to be really concerned. They showed some speed at Darlington, but they did not get a finish at all. They're just not looking good at all. I don't know if it's the crew chief, because the crew chief is Jeremy Bullins. And something I wanted to note is I believe he was paired with Harrison Burton. And I'm not trying to say, oh, Burton should have done a lot better in the Cup Series. I'm not saying that. But this tells me that if you're seeing the same result, something tells me it's not 100% driver. So I wonder if the crew chief of that car is holding the team back. Keselowski says he's really enjoying it, but is Jeremy Bullins holding that team back? They are ranked outside the top 30 in points, but here's a really good chance at Talladega to possibly get a win out of nowhere or get a lot of points. So we're just going to see what happens, but that is something of note that I've realized that I wanted to talk about with you. All right, next up, we're going to highlight the point standings. There's not maybe too much to highlight, but Chase Elliott is sitting right there. He's been quiet, but they've been doing really good when it comes to the end of races, and this is a great opportunity this week to get themselves a win, because it seems like that's just all they're missing. They're just missing a win. I feel you can argue the same for Ryan Blaney. They've blown engines. It's just been really unfortunate for the 12 team, but once again, same to Chase Elliott, a big weekend at Talladega where both those drivers have won. So here's their chance. Notably, Chase Briscoe has found his way into the top 16 in points after a rough start. That's something I've also realized, that it took him a little bit to get working with James Small, but they're starting to get it together here. I also want to talk about Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s right up there too with AJ Allmendinger, and Zane Smith is somewhat pretty high up in points compared to his other front row motorsports cars. And then towards the back, we have drivers like Eric Jones, Noah Gragson, and then we have the crazy Rookie of the Year battle, absolutely crazy, between Riley Herbst and Shane Van Gisbergen. But I believe Van Gisbergen will find a way to win this season, unlike Herbst. So that's my pick on Rookie of the Year, if I've never discussed that. But they're all the way in the back. And Cole Custer's even further than those two, which is crazy. But at the same time, it's probably not crazy. I'm not shocked that that team doesn't have it together. Towards the bottom, you'll see some part-time drivers that ran races. Nothing crazy down there at all, but if you're wondering why there's more positions, that would be the why. So other than that, we're going to talk about one more thing, and I'll share my thoughts on that. Coming up, we have the NASCAR All-Star Race at North Wilkesboro, and we have a brand new format coming in. I like it, so let's get right into it. For the NASCAR All-Star Race, it will be a 250 lap race with a competition caution coming around lap 100. And there is also an optional promoter's caution that must be executed prior to lap 220. If that caution has not been used and a natural yellow falls after lap 200, the optional caution will no longer be in play. The Open will be a 100-lap race with a competition caution around lap 40, with the 3 Open drivers who will advance will be the top 2 finishers in the race, and then we have the fan vote. Also for the All-Star race, there will be 2 60-lap heats to start the starting lineup. Heat 1 will include the inside lane, with Heat 2 being the outside lane. And then on that Friday, for qualifying in the Pit Crew Challenge, it will be combined with the Open cars going first before the All-Star cars go, which will see 1 lap at full speed. You end up pitting on the 2nd lap, you exit pit road on the 3rd lap, and then you will go take the checkered flag. And then this will determine the Heat and Open lineups, and pit crews with the fastest time without penalties is the winner. And drivers eligible for the All-Star race are 2024 and 2025 winners that are full-time, and those include previous All-Star winners and NASCAR Cup Series champions. Very interesting format. The promoter's caution is absolutely retarded. I hate cautions. I like to see races play out naturally, but That's just retarded. I'm sorry. I understand the competition cautions, but the promoter's caution, that's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard of. Other than that, I like everything going on, but the promoter's caution, I hope they don't use that garbage at all. That's just, I can have my rant about stages that I don't like a caution being thrown out for that, let alone stages existing, but that discussion is probably for another time as well. Lastly, for my fan vote right now, I really thought about this, but I believe Ryan Preece absolutely deserves to be in the All-Star race. I think the Birds really agree that Ryan Preece should be in the All-Star race. He'll probably race his way in, but I'm going to have Ryan Preece as my fan vote winner. That's who I voted for. Alright, that will be the end of this video. I tried to make it a little faster than the first one to get through information a little quicker. And I have not packed for Talladega yet, and I am leaving tomorrow, so I probably need to do that. And I also have a couple of new shirts that I got for races upcoming this year, so I'm going to show them to you real quick. Alright, we are back. Not sure how good this looks, but we got a 2025 version now. Yes, three-time champion here, so happy with this. And then I ended up getting a Hunt Brothers Pizza shirt. He'll be running this car actually in St. Louis, so I should be at that race. So it has a back, really like the front. The shirt's kind of tan, so overall that's the new drip. I also have this new drip too, so there's been a lot of shirts that have came in the month of April. After Talladega, I will be doing a vlog about all my upcoming summer plans. Thanks if you've been tuning into the channel, and thanks if you subscribed, and if you haven't already, feel free to hit that subscribe button. Been having a really good time uploading videos lately. I would love to have you be a part of the channel here. So other than that, I'm going to wrap this one up here. So thanks for watching and enjoy your day. Take care.